Hey y'all, it's that time of month again. It sounded funny. Um, it's the end of January, and I thought I'd review for you all what I colored in January 2018. And to start, this lovely lady from New York is from the book The Look by Suwa. And I colored this as part of a monthly challenge on Anne's channel, A Colorful Life. On her Facebook group, she had a unity and diversity coloring challenge, and this was my submission. And it was done with Crayola and Prismacolor pencils and some gel pen. I colored two illustrations from The Red Queen, illustrated by Yvonne Gilbert. This was the first one, done with Crayola markers and a variety of pencils. I started with Crayola pencils, but I find that they didn't work that well on this paper. I did it on her blouse, and you can see it has this weird stippling effect, so I switched to Staedtler's and some Faber-Castell Echo pencils, and they perform better on this book. And also some gel pen. And this is the second illustration. This was done with markers, metallic markers for the lightning, and markers for her outfit, and the rest was done with Prismacolor and Crayola. Next are all the colorings I did in the Game of Thrones official coloring book. And most of the illustrations I colored were done by Thomas Love Tomic, including all the sigils. That's House Stark, House Baratheon, House Lannister, that is House Aaron, that's House Tully, that is House Tyrell, House Greyjoy, House Martell, and this is House Targaryen. This is Highgarden. Whenever I hear that, I always think of that meme with Olenna Tyrell sporting shades and toking on a doobie. This one was done with Crayola pencils, and I used half a mahogany pencil on this one alone. This one was done with Staedtler watercolor pencils, mostly. And the elk's antlers were done with Crayola marker. And this was done with markers and gel pen mostly. See how shiny the peacock is? This one was illustrated by John Howe, and I did this one for a weekly challenge on Aaron's Facebook group, Simple Art for Adults. And it was done with markers and watercolor pencils. Here I started with markers, but I didn't like the way it was coming out. It was too bold, so I switched to watercolor pencils for the rest of the cliffs. Next are some colorings from the Outlander official coloring book. And this one was illustrated by Yvonne Gilbert, done with Crayola pencils and a little bit of gel pen on the butterflies and bees. This took a few days. This one was done mostly with markers and Prismacolor on the skin. And gel pen, of course, for the details in the curtains and on the buttons and things. This one was done with Staedtler watercolor pencils and Sharpies and some gel pen on the candlesticks and the handle of the sword and the buttons. Next is a coloring from Tanya Bond's Astro Inklings. This is Capricorn, and it was done mostly with Crayola artist pencils and some gel pen. And on the background, I couldn't make up my mind if I wanted to do it with markers or pastels, and it kind of ended up a mishmash of both, so it looks kind of strange, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. Next is a coloring from Bells and Blossoms, and that's the illustrator. I'll butcher a name if I don't show you. And this one was done with Crayola artist pencils and gel pen and Sharpies and some soft pastels for the background. With this one, I went back to my roots and colored some more fashion. This is from Art Deco Fashions by Mingju Sun. And I used Sivo Vivid and Faber-Castell Echo pencils, Staedtlers, and some gel pen. And soft pastels for the background. I felt like playing around with some watercolors, so I did one in this one, Pablo Picasso. There's no artist attributed to this one, I don't think. There's the original, a harlequin. And there's my rendition. It's crappy, but it was fun. And finally, from Elegant Angels by Marty Noble, I did 2 in here. I do like the angel in this one, but the background came out very streaky because I used Crayola Super Tips for the background. And on her dress I used gold gel pen, Prismacolor Premier, and Crayola Artist pencils. And on her wings I used Prismacolor, and I had to go over it with a blender pencil after. And finally, this one I used Crayola Artist pencil and some gel pen. And that's it.